Hi, we're Chopstick.
And Johnjon, and we're at the Seoul studios in Berlin, and we're gonna go through the creating process of our track Piney Moon now. The first thing we did was we had a guitar loop. We got together at some point. Not really sure if it was a sample. I think it was a sample. But we have this pool of stuff that we can pick out of samples, everything. So and we didn't want to give our singer too much of a clear direction. We wanted him to be creative, so just give him a rough layout of what it was, and this was basically this thing. So really pretty easy thing.
Yeah.
And then we tried different things on it. Tien played some Rhodes. That is somewhere there. Oh yeah, we recorded Rhodes right away.
But we end up didn't using it.
Oh, we even have changes somewhere there. Yeah, we have one with changes. This one. So yeah, that's how it all started, and Chris already sang the first line on it, which became the chorus later.
When you're gazing up at the pining moon, will that be my eyes?
Then we did some drums on it and like a kick drum and hi-hat, but I think I'm gonna spare you this because it's kind of just after. But just to get the feel how it was, let's see. Oh, it's off.
Will that be my eyes?
So we're like, okay, that could work.
Eyes you
So yeah, that was the first thing. The first idea was the first day that we were here. We showed him this short loop, and then yeah, we got the guitar out, or Chris got the guitar out, and he started playing some stuff, and we realized that it just works better if we keep the loop just to a simple, like don't have the changes on it, so just the first part. So this is where we ended up, and that's already, you can hear this part in the song right at the beginning. It just goes through. It's like the foundation of everything. And then we played, we recorded some guitar from Chris, which went like this. Yeah, that was and that's, but people who know the track already like realize, okay, that's like the rough layout of the whole thing.
But that was still in the wrong key.
That was still in the wrong key. Yeah, we played some more guitar. And then the vocals again on top, like obviously they still work. And at that point, it slowly came together. But that was the point, as you might already hear. It's like he's really high pitched. He's really singing in really high key. So we decided to take everything. What is it? 4 semitones. I think.
4 semitones.
We down, so he would become more of a range where he's comfortable to sing, which made it really interesting because the guitar he played, he couldn't play it anymore because it was really weird on the. We tried a version with him to just make a video of him playing it and then singing to it, but he couldn't because of of our down pitch. So yeah, this was basically the first session that we had, right?
Well, we have a recording room. Actually, it's the same size. It's on the other side, but we never use it. It's gonna be used at some point. It's a recording room, but we record everything basically in this room because this room is acoustically really right where we want it. And so we had Chris in this room with the guitar. We had the third from the right, the guitar in the middle. It's a really cheap guitar, but it sounded amazing. And we used 2 microphones, the Neumann KM185 XY setup. I don't know how you say it in English. Yeah, it's like yeah, and also had the AKG 412 for the fret noise at the top, at the neck. And we just started recording, and we used different preamps. We used the Great River preamp and the Ampex preamp. The Ampex is a tube preamp which we used with the AKG 412, which is a condenser, obviously. And the Neumann we used with the Great River. And we just leveled it out and started recording. And it sounded brilliant right from the beginning.
Yeah, I remember Chris being really surprised about how the guitar
How the
sounds.
shitty guitar can sound so good. It's really, because at that time we didn't have that many guitars. So we just had this one guitar, and it's...
And he loved it. Yeah.
And every time he comes back, he's like, "Are you sure we recorded with this guitar?" We're like, "Yes, we did." He's like, "It sounds, yeah, it sounds amazing, even though the guitar is so shit." So with the vocals, I think the rough vocal we just recorded also with the AKG 412. Yeah.
This was the first guide he basically made. What we're doing is we just capture rough ideas in Ableton, and then we just bounce it out and move on to, like, do a rough bounce and move to Logic. So basically all the EQing, the processing is all happening in Logic. So I don't really think there's much on here. There's obviously the UAD 140. The reverb on there, basically. But at this point in time, it was just to make it, put a nice reverb on it to make it sound a little nicer, just for us to have a listening. It's not nearly the finished mixed version or anything. It was just to put some reverb on it,
Just to have a reverb.
To have a reverb.
For the sake of having a reverb.
Yeah, we bounce it to Logic. Let me see if there's anything on there, but I doubt this. Yeah, it's just an EQ, just a low cut. Not even on those. Yeah, we just have a low cut. This is like really just the rough recording of it. And then
we recorded some drumming.
Oh yeah.
And some real hi-hats. Because we think, like, groove-wise, real live played hi-hats, they just add so much more groove than programmed hi-hats. So we quite often use hi-hats, played hi-hats. What do you?
Yeah, I'm just opening the second one. So this was the first session. Then in the second session, we got the drummer in, and we pitched everything down 4 semitones, so he would be more comfortable singing on this. So where is it? As you can see, we made up here a reminder for ourselves, from here on everything -4, so we don't get confused. So we're back with the loop, but this time, as you can see, it's transposed to -4. So yeah, I don't know, some people might pull their hair now because we used all this great gear to record stuff, and then we used Ableton to transpose it -4. I think the nerves.
But if it works, it works.
It works, yeah. Everybody again, Chris was like, "Oh really, this sounds amazing." Yeah. So that's how we started. And then we got a friend of ours in, who's a drummer, and but he just played a hi-hat, and we recorded this. And as you can see, we made a lot of...
Solo the hi-hats for a second?
Oh, yeah.
So we had 2 microphones also, again, one from the top, one from the bottom.
AKG and the 2 SM58s.
And we had the classic SM58s also. Yeah, and the AKG. So we just mix the 3 microphones together to get a right sound.
Yeah. Recorded a lot and then just put them together, panned them as well. So you get kind of a stereo feel. No, we're not moving it around. No, not more warping at all. We just went through the whole thing because you don't really need a drummer if you warp it afterwards. You know, it's like why then if you quantize everything afterwards, then why get a drummer? So no, we didn't. We just went through the as you can see, there's no warping or anything involved. We just went through the parts and saw which one was the one where we felt grooved the most. So and that's where we started. And then we also started recording, as you can see, it's like a lot of different hi-hats we used. Like you might not hear the difference right away, but it's like always different parts that we tried out. And yeah, and then we recorded a lot of more. But obviously, we still have the guitar on -4 now, and that's the version you hear now on the song. And yeah, then we have a lot of vocal tracks that we recorded, and to just separate them, we gave them great names like
There's Attitude.
There's the Attitude version of every verse. There's the
shandy
the
version.
low shandy version of the lead. There is the lead low, then the verse 2 is an Attitude version. So and we can go through this how we did it. Let's start with the guide of verse 1. Oh no, the new one.
Give me night waves, forget about, don't wanna be caught in the middle.
EQing wise, just a low cut, nothing on there. But which microphone?
It was the 412. Because Chris used to knows the AKG 412 anyways. Because I think he recorded with that one before, and it sounds amazing with his voice. So we just kept using that AKG 412.
What is the whole chain again that you put in there? Was the LA2A?
Yeah, it was the AKG 412. It's the fat version. It has actually the C12 brass capsule, because there's one with a Teflon capsule, which is not as good, obviously. So this one has the brass capsule. And then we went into the Great River preamp, the MP2NV, and then into the Teletronics LA2A, and then into the Apogee. That's the chain basically for recording the vocals.
And let's just give it a
Give me night waves,
without,
forget about,
just to try.
don't wanna be caught in the middle.
That's basically the rough version, just the low cut from Ableton to get the.
There's no
the
EQing, just a low cut basically. And if you have the right chain, the right microphones, the right setup, it sounds already really nice. You don't really need to EQ much or compress it much, as you can hear.
Wanna trespass, forget about, reaching out, it's 1 in a million. Give me night waves,
So yeah, at this point, we got the verse 1, obviously. Still everything, as you can hear, still everything is acoustic in here. There's no electronic parts in here. And then we got the first chorus. Let's see. Okay. And those are a lot of different parts. So
I would go through them single by single, so the pitched ones,
yeah, we have
stuff like that. So.
We have the high harmony from him. Oops. That's the high. So obviously Chris is an amazing singer, as you can hear. We were just always sitting here. It's like, just imagine us sitting here and he was standing behind us singing. And we just kept looking at each other like, what's happening? And he just said, oh, yo, I have another idea for a harmony. I got another harmony. So should we try this? And I'm just like, oh my God, what's happening? What is he doing? This is the low harmony.
when you're gazing up at the pining moon.
And then we have
I will not need
a version that we just low pitched in Ableton. just to give it a bit of an edge, just trying things. And then we had this beautiful humming from him at some point coming. And cool, thanks. And yeah, and then obviously the lead of it, the new version, for example. So that's the chorus then in the end. As you can see, we didn't cut anything up. So it's
Yeah, we'd rather use it as a one take. If we have one take, it's much better texture.
also with Chris, it was just easy. He just sang it 3 or 4 times, and then he just said, "Oh yeah, the last one, that's it, perfect." And we were like, "Okay, sure." We've listened through it, and 90% of the time he was bang
wrong?
on it. Yeah, he was wrong. To do it again. So yeah, we got all these different. If you're looking, let's hear the shandy version for the fun of it. Oh, now, oops, great timing. Come on. Once more the shandy version, and we move on. I love that one.
Yeah, it's a lower harmony.
So yeah, that's at this point. This is the point where we bounce everything out and we move on to Logic and basically to the drums and like the other stuff on Logic. Yeah, we just arrived in Logic. So, but this is already the final arrangement of the whole track of both versions. On the left is the album version. On the right is the acoustic version. So as you can see, there's a couple of things that we added obviously to the track, like the beat section up here. Got a bass and everything's a bit more. It's got some Jupiter, like the one guy, Sierra Sam, in the next studio. He has like massive collection of old synth, and we on a regular basis we just go over there and we're like, oh, can we just check this? Jupiter, yeah. Was it Jupiter? Was it a 6 or?
I don't know. It wasn't an 8. But
No, it was a 6, I think.
Yeah, it could be a 6.
So yeah, that's in here. But let's just go. We also got another friend in to get some bass, upright bass, different versions, recorded it. So let's go through the beat section first, maybe.
So yeah, at the top we always have a sidechain kick, which
This one.
which is just a signal, which we use for mostly bass or layered sounds like pads or strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one because it's nothing spectacular. It's just a signal.
What's going on? Let's see if this works. So the loop, we basically put a conga under it to make it more like to get this kind of groove out. And kick drum, you can still hear those were the heads we recorded. And here's the long bass. I think it was an ARP plugin, the ARP 2600 plugin that we used. Oh, he's already singing. Then it's the first verse of the vocals. You were asking for the EQing and the effects we have on there, but as you can see,
Well, there's no plug-in EQ on it. Just a low cut, but we always put the pull tags on the vocals because the highs they sound amazing, and I always add at 100 hertz. I also add a little boost, which gives it a little bit more bottom. A lot of people think at 100 hertz there's not much happening with vocals, but if you boost it like 3 to 5 dBs, you can actually feel and hear it sounds totally, more warm, more texture. So the vocals always go through the pull tags.
Give me night
We just and we have that we had the version in the live already with the doubles, as you can hear, and that's the effect. We just have a. I think it's still they have the echo boy for a little delay on there, and then the EMT 140. This puppy wasn't alive back then.
No, it's new, so from now on we're using more the lexicon. But at that time we were using a lot of UAD plugins as reverbs, especially the EMT 140, because it sounds amazing.
So yeah, that's the not much to it. I think it was really the way you recorded the vocals that just made it so easy to work with them.
Yeah,
they already sounded so great. We were just
Yeah, in general, everything you record, if you use the proper gear and if you have good knowledge on how to record it, like how to angle the microphones and stuff like that, or which phase you're using or not, and it makes it so much easier in the end to make a track sound good because it already sounds really good. If you use a shitty microphone, shitty preamps, a shitty desk, then it just sounds shit, and you can tweak it, use plugins and compress it, and you still feel like, hey, I can't get it to the point where it should sound, but that's a long, basically recording, like a long process of experience, I guess. But everything we record nowadays, it's just in our ears sounds really good, so you don't have to tweak it at all. Actually, just a little bit of highs maybe, or a little bit of compression, but that's it.
one important thing is I think we have to say is that it's not like what you're hearing right now is not the mixed version, because we just put it on the desk again. It's not the final. It's not the final mix down.
At this point where we're at right now, we just arrange it. We just start arranging it, and then like on the fly, I'm mixing it a little bit so it sounds sort of okay. But then once we finish the arrangement, I'm gonna take like a whole day to really mix it properly. And what you're hearing right now, it's not a proper mix because we just open up the old arrangement and it's on the desk, it's coming out, but the cues are not set and the levels are not right, so it's not the proper mix right now. Yeah, there's no recall, and it's actually it's good because we never get back to a track, because once we deliver to our mastering guy Hans in Hamburg, which is not the same Hans. There's two Hans, but ours is Deinklang. He does all the Kotze stuff, and he's a great guy. Once we send it off to him, it's done basically. So if record labels, A&Rs, whatever, they want to have changes, it's not happening. And that's actually a good thing for us, because we want to move on. Because we always say like, hey, the worst thing is if you keep circling around, if you can always make something sound better, or you get stuck. You record a clap and then the clap doesn't suit to the hi-hat, and then you fix the hi-hat and the clap doesn't sound good anymore, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, we were at those kind of situations before, and we said like, hey, you got to make a decision, you got to live with it. So we always make a decision and then we live with it and then we move on. So once we print the pre-master and we send it off to the mastering guy, it's done. We're not going to touch it.
Most of the time, it's at the end of the day, we listen to it, we're like, okay, this is a great version. And then we sleep on it, we listen to it in the morning, and we still like it, done.
Done, yeah. We print it.
Because otherwise, I think you just, it's 1 week later, you're in a different mood, the weather changed, and you listen to it again, and you're like, oh, was that, the filter opens up a little too much, and then you just keep turning in circles and circles and circles. And that's
the worst.
Perfect thing on this desk is you avoid that. Once you take the mix off, it's done.
When we work, we usually work just like just with the stereo out. So the mixing process is really at the end. So we can work several projects at the same time, both just using just the stereo out. But once we actually come to a point where we say like, okay, this is ready to mix, then I have to mix it down and then send it off. Then we can't work on several projects. Well, that's I guess that's the downside of it.
So the track goes, as you know, it goes through like a more uplifting phase, and then it ends up in the acoustic area. And to get a bass, we recorded some upright bass, as you can hear. have this bass line here.
And as you can see, we never have any compression or EQs on the channel because we mostly use the outboard EQs and compressors.
And also picked one, and then later.
I think for the upright bass, we also went through the Teletronics LA2A, which is really good for bass.
Yeah. That's also.
Mach die mal solo, bitte.
So this is what we recorded then.
So we had some upright bass played with a bow. And pan left, right.
And no.
And if you do that, you gotta watch the phase. That's why the correlation metering here is really important.
Yeah, we got one pan to the right a little bit, and the other one to the left, 25. And just EQ'd in Logic, and then used the desk. Yep, and that's it. That's what we recorded, right? Yeah. So drums, hi-hat, like hi-hats, the bass, guitars, vocals, everything recorded. So there's not really that much left, but the Jupiter that we used as analog, like synth.
And the bass.
And the bass. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the synth bass.
No. So here is still the long. This is a standing bass. And then
Mach mal solo, das ist
I can listen to those two together. And then the picked bass just kind of takes over when it merges into the acoustic version. Exactly.
And now the synth bass stops.
That's it. So basically, if you listen to the whole track, it's just went from being kind of electronic to at the end totally acoustic. That's why when we heard the acoustic end, we also decided to do the second part and get into this acoustic version of the whole track, which is just.
And a good trick to record an upright bass is if you put the microphone, I don't know how you call it, like in the bridge at the bottom, and you put it to figure 8, not the cardiotic thing, but the figure 8, and then also one for the fret noise at the top. It's you get a really good sound with the bottom end. So that's how we recorded the upright bass. I'm gonna show some inserts. Turn on just the hi-hats for me, please. So for example, the hi-hats, they come out on 7 and 8. As you can see, and there's an insert on it. There's some Siemens EQ, W295. That's without it, and that's with it, and I can actually hear it. And they sound amazing. I always have the Siemens EQs on the hi-hat. And basically all the gear I have here, I can insert it into each channel. And the vocals, kannst du mal die Stimmen bitte anmachen? Same with the vocals. They're on 17, 18. And the Pultecs run through the 17, 18 right now. So I have to patch it over there in the patch bay. I have to patch the. That's with a boost of 10 dB in the highs at 12 kilohertz. And if you add at 100 hertz, as you can see here, let's say 6 dB, you get a really nice tone. So I never boosted 10 dBs though in the highs, around maybe 7 or, yeah, around 7. And in at the bottom end at 100 hertz, I usually boosted like 3 dB. And that's without the pull tags. And that's with them. It's very subtle, but if the delay and the reverb is off, you can actually like really hear a big difference. In the end, probably the guys or girls who are dancing on the dance floor, they're not gonna hear it, but it's just especially with vocals, because vocals is the most intimate thing in a song if you have vocals, so they should sound really nice. Well, the master channel, I have a master insert, which is disconnected right now because I was recording the Rhodes before, but the master insert usually goes to the Great River. It's a line and a microphone preamp, but I use it as a line amp also. And it has an insert with the Manly Varimu connected. So the master chain basically goes into the line input of the Great River, and then it goes into the Manly Varimu compressor, and then comes back here, and then usually goes into the apogee, or sometimes we record it on the tape machine. It really depends what kind of material we have. And most of the times we run it through the tape machine and then back into the apogee. So, yeah, and I don't push it too much. I used to really like saturate the sound a lot, but then the signal got too weird, I think. And my mastering guy said like don't go into the red too much. Just I use the headroom on the desk, but not in the tape machine. So I just recorded like -1 or 2 dB, and the signal that goes out also like -1 dB into the apogees. Yeah, I used to record it -6 because a lot of people said it's better. The mastering guy has more room to work with it, but I believe as hot as you can, but not too hot. So like before I was recording like -0.1, but then the digital how do you say it? The display maybe can't show the peaks, the transients. So -1 or -3 dB should be fine.